Praise the Lord. Hi students, welcome back to Namagurugulu YouTube channel. Dear students, we have been solving the multiple choice question paper based model question paper 1 which has been released by the PU board. We have already solved 10 questions from science part, which was question number 41 to 50. Okay, in the previous video we have done question number 41 to 50. And this would be the second video. We will continue with where we left in the previous video. Let us start from question number 51 to 60. Okay, let us make this as short as possible, short videos with 10 questions each. Okay, so as I told you, if you have not seen the previous video, kindly you can also watch that, because there is no continuation in this, because each question is different. Okay, right, so let's not waste our time. Let's directly go into the first question for the video. One more small note, dear students. So every time I finish the question, I will be answering it in the OMR, but I will show it in the final after the last question is completed. Okay, because in between every question, it's not right for me to disturb you. Okay. So the first question is a very simple question, dear students. Let us read it. Watt. Okay. Watt is an SI unit of, four options are given: electric current, electric charge, electric potential difference, electric power. Okay. So can you give me the right option here? One important notice in answering the multiple choice question is you should read the question clearly and try to check all the four options given. Okay, you should always check it carefully. Here, the watt is the SI unit of electric power, because the electric power SI unit will be watt. Okay, in case they may exchange the other way around, like how, what is the SI unit of electric power? Are you following? So you may interchange the question, like here the SI unit is given, he wants to find out for what thing it is. In the same way, the question is complete here, but before going to the next question, let us also check what are the SI units of the other three options. Okay, I'm going to give it for you here. You can please notice, for electric current, the SI unit is ampere. You know that. And next, for electric charge, the SI unit is coulomb, isn't it? Now, for the third option was given was electric potential difference. For that, the SI unit would be volt. And finally, electric power, for this, the SI unit is watt. So for we have already marked the right option. The right option is option D. Okay, let us repeat once again. Watt is a SI unit of electric current, electric charge, electric potential difference, electric power. So the right option is electric power. Okay, let's move on to next question. Question number 52. The second question of the video. Now let's read the English part. Observe the given table. So table, you have four materials. You need not know the name. Yes, given K, L, M, N, or he may give you A, B, C, D. Need not worry about it. Their resistivity is given. Please be careful. So the material and its resistivity is given, and you could notice here all the three terms are into 10 to the power of minus 8. So that means this is common. Sometimes you would forget this term, that is 10 power minus 8. Sometimes you might have given 10 power minus 6 here. You should be very careful. In all the four, for all the four materials, the resistivity is in terms of into 10 power minus 8. So that means you can only notice these four values, which is 6.84, 1.62, 5.2 and 2.63. So we have seen the table. Now what is the question? Good conductor of electricity among these material is. So there are four materials. You have to tell me which is the good conductor. So option A, there are already four materials, and each option is given in each material. So option A is material K, option B is material L, option C is material N, and option D is material M. Okay, now you should know the exact relation between resistivity and conductivity. Okay, so it's a very easy and a simple relationship between resistivity and conductivity. We all know resistivity is inversely proportional to conductivity. or vice versa. Conductivity is inversely proportional to resistivity. That means if resistivity increases, the conductivity decreases. So kindly note down this relation. So if the conductivity has to be increased, that means the resistivity should be very less. So those materials which have less resistivity would be more conductivity. Okay, that will have a more conductivity property. So that means if a material has to be a good conductor of electricity, then that means it should have the least resistivity. Now you can check here which is the material which has least resistivity. You can find it in L, which is 1.62 into 10 power minus 8. So therefore, among the given options, the good conductor of electricity among the given four material is material L. So for material L, the option is B, option B. Is it clear? So for the 52nd question, the right option is option B, which is L, material L, which is having the less resistivity. That will directly imply good conductor. Is it clear? Okay, let's go to the next question. The next question is from sources of energy. Let's read the question. One of the properties of biogas, there are four options given. Its heating capacity is high, leaves residue like ash, it burns with smoke, its heating capacity is low. Okay, if you check this carefully, the properties of biogas, one of the properties is leaves residue like ash. No, biogas will not leave residue like ash, means this is not the property. Next, it burns with smoke. Biogas will not burn with smoke. Even this is also not valid. This one, its heating capacity is low. Definitely no. The right answer would be option D, option A, because the one of the main property of biogas is its heating capacity is high. Okay, that is why we will be using biogas. Okay, because its heating capacity is high, it will make my energy consumption less and does the work with more speed. Okay, so for the given question, the right option is option A. Question was one of the properties of biogas, and the answer is its heating capacity is high. Okay, don't be confused. These both options A and D are very similar. One is high, one is low. Right option is high. Okay, so let's go to the next question. The question number 54 is as follows. Object distance and image distance of a lens are minus 60 centimeter and minus 20 centimeter respectively. Okay, then the magnification of lens will be, okay, options are minus 0.33, plus 3.0, plus 0.33, plus 4.0. Okay, you should be very careful because there is a lot of significance in this positive and negative signs. Please be careful. Let us discuss about the signs later. Let us come to the value. Now you can note down the data given. This is a very simple problem. Object distance and image distance is given. Object distance is minus 60 centimeter. Please note it down. Object distance is usually, we know that it is denoted by U, which is nothing but minus 60 centimeter given. Next, image distance is given by V, which is nothing but minus 20 centimeter. Okay, now M is denoted by magnification. This is question mark. Okay, so going to the formula, the required formula is magnification M is nothing but V divided by U. Okay, so this will be equal to V value is given minus 20 divided by U value is given minus 60. So this is nothing but minus and minus gets cancels, 21s are and 23s are. So this is nothing but it's a very known value, that is 1.1 by 3 will give you 0.333, and this is a non-terminating recurring decimal, isn't it? We know that. Don't forget this. The sign we have here is plus, which is positive. Is it clear? Now actually this much is enough for me to select the right answer. The right answers we have is 0.33, so plus 0.33. You can see here the right option is option C, which is plus 0.33. Okay, very simple question and very simple formula also. And before going to the next question, also just remember this one small note here. So it's not just about knowing the correct answer. You should also know the concept clearly, because the next time they may ask, they may change the question. So if the magnification is negative, that means the image formed is virtual image and erect. Okay. If the magnification is, if the magnification is negative, then it is virtual and erect. If the magnification is positive, then the image would be real image and inverted. Okay, you have to note it down these things, because knowing a concept in detail will always help you in doing the multiple choice questions in a better way. Okay, yes, that this is enough. Let's go to the next question. So the 55th question reads like this: the process used to convert metal carbonate ores into their oxides is. So here comes the questions from chemistry. I repeat, the process used to convert metal carbonate ores into their oxides. So there are four processes are given. You have to select the correct process. Which are the four options given? Option A, roasting. Option B, reduction. Option C, electrolysis. And option D, calcination. Okay. If you have read the concept clearly, you would directly go on with the option D, which is calcination, because it's a direct answer here. Because what the action is conducted, the process is known as calcination. Because please note down, calcination and roasting are actually very nearly related. They are actually similar. Please note this: if the metal carbonate ores are converted into oxides, then that process is known as calcination. On the other side, if the sulfide ores are converted into oxides, okay, there is a chance that even this kind of question can be asked. So if the sulfide ores is converted into oxides, then that process is called roasting. Okay, but actually in this paper the question given was the process used to convert metal carbonate ores into their oxides, and that is nothing but the option D, calcination. Okay, hope you have no doubt in this question. Let's go to the question number 6. The 56th question is as follows: the correct group of saturated hydrocarbons. Okay, there are 4 options given. Before going to check into these options, you have to know which are the saturated hydrocarbons. We all know generally the alkanes are saturated hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are of 2 types: saturated hydrocarbons and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Here, because I have to check for saturated hydrocarbons, we know that alkanes are saturated hydrocarbons. Now you have to check which among the following 4 groups have all alkanes. All the 3, all the 3 given hydrocarbons should be saturated in a given option. That would be the right option. Okay, so before checking for that, please, you should have a regular pattern. You should always have a regular pattern of solving the question. We all always know for alkanes the molecular formula is nothing but CnH2n plus 2. Okay, hope you don't have any doubt in this. The molecular formula for alkanes is CnH2n plus 2, isn't it? Now let us start finding the simple values here. If you put the value of n is equal to 1, we know we get a methane. So methane, the molecular formula is, if n is equal to 1, then it is C1 or C is understood. So it is C1, and H, 2 into 1 is what? 2. 2 plus 2. So CH4. So CH4 is methane. Similarly, if n is equal to 2, if you put here, you'll get C2H. What happens to H? 2 2s are 4. 4 plus 2, 6. So this is ethane. Are you following? Methane, ethane. Next, if you put n is equal to 3, you can check here. The maximum you have C is C4. Okay. The maximum option you have for C is C4. Let us check all the first 4 alkanes, which is methane, ethane, propane and butane. So if for n is equal to 3, you will get a propane. So it is C3H. 3 2s are 6 plus 2, that is 8. Okay, and finally n is equal to 4, you will get a butane, C4H. How much? 4 2s are 8 plus 2, that is nothing but 10. Okay, now you can check here of the 4 given options. CH4, yes, CH4 is there. for my benefits, we generally write C1H4. You can just write CH4. Okay, so CH4 is there. Yes, C2H4. You don't have C2H4. So that means this is C2H4 is unsaturated hydrocarbon. Okay, this is actually ethylene. Okay, so we don't take this. So that means this group is goes off. Going to option B. So what are the options you can find in B? You have C2H6. Yeah, you have C2H6. C3H8. Yes, you have C3H8. And C4H10. So that is here. So because this option is all the three are alkanes, which are saturated hydrocarbons, this is the correct group. Okay. So if you check the other two, definitely in at least out of those three compounds, at least one would be unsaturated one. I want the saturated hydrocarbon group. So correct group is C2H6, that is ethane, propane and butane. Is it clear? So I've given you a clear picture of how actually we do it. We find the solution. It's not always about finding the answer. You should always know how we get the answer, because if they change the question slightly different in the next pattern or in the main examination, you should be ready for that question. Okay, right. So I hope you have understood this. Question number 56, it's done. Let's go to the question number 57. So moving on to question number 57. The atomic number of an element X, we don't know what the element is. He has given it as X. Let us take it as X. The atomic number of an element X is 11, and the atomic number of Y, there is another element is 17. Okay. Then the type of bond formed between these two elements whose atomic number is 11 and 17 is, four options are given: hydrogen bond, covalent bond, ionic bond and metallic bond. Okay, so you can directly go for the solution, but before that let us make some arrangement or thinking pattern here. You just look here, there is a metal X here. Okay, this has, first of all, he has told a metal X. Okay, this atomic number is 11. Okay, can anyone tell me what is the which element has the atomic number 11? We know that atomic number element 11 is for sodium, which is Na, isn't it? So it is for sodium, and don't forget sodium is a metal, isn't it? In the similar way, for Y, actually the atomic number is 17, isn't it? He has given, and 17 is nothing but, okay, we all know the atomic number 17 is for Cl, means chlorine, isn't it? So it is chlorine. And again here, chlorine is a non-metal. Now I have to find the bonding between metal and non-metal. Okay, so we definitely know this. Always between a metal and a non-metal, the bond created is an ionic bond. Is it clear? Ionic bond. So you can search for the right option where he has given IONIC, that is ionic bond is in option C. So that would be the right option for this question. Okay, question number 57. The four types of bonds were given. Among the given question, the right option would be option C, ionic bonds. Okay, very clear. I've told you how you get that. Okay, let's go to the next question. The question number 58 reads like this: as the pH value of a solution decreases, what happens? Four options are given. Number of OH negative ions increases, number of H plus ions increases, number of H plus ions decreases, or equal number of OH minus and H plus ions. So this is the question. You have to analyze this clearly. You should only, if you can know the concept clearly, you can write the answer. Okay. Please note down this relationship between pH value and acidic nature. Okay, pH value and acidic nature are inversely proportional. That means if pH value decreases, please note down, if pH value decreases, then acidic nature increases. Are you following? Acidic nature increases. Now the condition given is, what happens when pH value decreases? So when pH value decreases, automatically acidic nature increases. So what happens when acidic nature increase? So this will give rise to H plus ions would be increased. Are you following? If the acidic nature is increased, then H plus ions are increased. Are you following? So now you can check. That means the number of H plus ions increases. So check for the option here. The option number of H plus ion increases is in option B. Okay. So the question number 58, the right option is option B. Is it clear? Okay. Let's go to the next question, number 59. The question number 59 is a very simple question, provided you know the concept clearly. The functional group present in the carbon compound. You can note down the structural formula given. You have to find out which is the functional group here, which is present in this carbon compound. Okay, first option is aldehyde, second option is alcohol, third option is ketone, and option D is carboxylic acid. Okay, now let us actually write down this structural formula of carbon compound and see which is the, I can directly give you the answer, but I want you to find out how you get that. So please note down the structural formula of the carbon compound given. You can neatly note down here the carbon compound has a group, functional group. What is the group you have here? COOH. Okay, the group you have is COOH, which is nothing but the carboxylic acid group. Are you following? So the right option here would be, you have the group COOH. COOH is carboxylic acid group. So search for the correct option here, where you find it. So you find it in option D, carboxylic acid group. Okay, now I can directly move on to the next question. But before that, now when do you find aldehyde group? So what is the significance of aldehyde group? So if it has to be aldehyde group, then what you have to get? Okay, I'll give you the idea here. So the other options are, you may have at the end part, I'm just writing you the end part, you may have a CHO group. Are you following? Or you may have a CO group, or you may have OH group. Okay, now I'll give you the significance of what this means. So please note it down. The CHO indicates aldehyde group, the CO group indicates ketone group, the OH group indicates alcohol group. Okay, so since the given carbon compound has COOH group, which is carboxylic acid, so for this question the right option would be option D, carboxylic acid. Okay, right. So hope you have understood this. Let us solve one more question for the video and we can take a break. So question number 60, the atomic number of an element is 20. Okay, in the modern periodic table, this element belongs to the period. Which period it belongs to? Option A, period 4, option B, 8, option C, 2, and option D, 3. Okay, please be careful. Now please note it down. The atomic number of an element is 20. Okay, now atomic number of an element is 20 given. Which is the element? Can you tell me? We all know atomic number having an element with 20 is nothing but the element calcium. Okay, and in the modern periodic table, if you go from left to right, we know okay, horizontal lines arrangements will give you the period, and vertical arrangements will give you the groups. Okay, here he is asking you the period. Okay, he may ask you also the group. Okay, for calcium you can note it down with atomic number 20. This belongs to 4th period. Okay, it belongs to 4th period and it belongs to the second group. In case if they ask you the group, you can write the second group. Okay, it's all about you remembering things. Okay, in case you don't know to remember this, if you can also write the electronic configuration, if you know how to write the electronic configuration of the metal of an element with the given atomic number, even then you can find out its period and group. Okay, so let us check this out. So let's write the electronic configuration. Let's start with 1s2. Okay, so 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. So total it is 6 plus 2, 8, 8 plus 2, 10. Now next, 3s2, 3p6. 3s2, 3p6. So it is 10 plus 2, 18 here. Okay, and next 4s2. So this will give you atomic number 20. Okay, now you can check here. You stopped with 4s2, and with this number, whatever you find here would give you the period of that element. Okay, so here the period of the given element with atomic number 20 is nothing but it is the fourth period. Okay, so check for the option. You can check here. The options are 4, 8, 2 and 3. The right option is option A, which is 4. Is it clear? Very simple, isn't it? Provided, as I told you, you should have a complete thorough knowledge of the entire concepts. So this is all about the 10 questions which we have solved in this video from question number 51 to 60. Okay, so the answers in the OMR sheet. I've shaded it as we have solved the correct answers. Okay, this is how you would be solving and giving your answers in the OMR sheet. Okay. Alright students, so thanks for watching the video. This is the second video where we have solved the other 10 questions from the science part. There are 2 more upcoming videos where we will be solving the next 10, that is 61 to 70 and finally 71 to 80. I wanted the videos to be very short, so we are just doing it 10 questions each so that even you don't get bored. Okay. Alright students, hope you have enjoyed this video, and not just enjoyment, you have also learned the concept in detail. So take a break and come back for the next video. Until then, you can share this video to all of your friends who need support and help. Okay, since this is a new concept and new pattern, students would be having difficulty in answering things. So kindly share the video with all of your friends and support us. Don't like to forget the video. Like the video. Your every like button would be inspiration and booster for us to make more videos. Okay, so if you have still not subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe to our channel and click the bell button so that you would get all the notifications of the upcoming videos from this channel. Okay students, take care of your health. We'll meet you again in the next video. Until then, take care and bye.